Next up, we have Chasing the Dragon by Get Six from the Electronic Super Joy 2 soundtrack. Once again, everybody, this is a Basterd's LFA, a layman-friendly analysis. I'm a professionally trained musician, a composer, and my objective here is to explain things in a way so that you don't have to be one to understand what is happening here, musically. So, if you like the sound of that, make sure you're following the channel, subscribe to the channel, what I'm going to use, like the video, share, comment, turn on notifications, become a member. Once again, everybody, don't forget to join the Discord server, join the Patreon, subscribe to the gaming channel, subscribe to the Reacts channel, how to request songs if you're not on the live stream, members, getting early access to the content. I have a spiel for this and a bunch of other things later in this video, so stick around for that. Disclaimers. Showing on your screen right now, so go ahead and pause the video to read them in full. Otherwise, please be patient with me. I am acoustic and guitarded, so please keep that in mind. With that, let's do this. Chasing the Dragon. Let's go. Okay, so we start with 3, maybe 4 elements over here. Hold on, what? And Daniel, it's $10. So we start with 3, maybe 4 elements. We have a guitar over here, basically playing some palm muted chords, palm muting. I'm gonna get to that. Then we have the drums with the drum beat. We have a bass with the bass line underneath, and then we have another synth in the back, giving us some partial arpeggios, right? Arpeggio being when you play a chord one note at a time. So basically, here's, for example, C minor. Here's arpeggiated, and this one is giving like something along those lines, right? We're basically getting that kind of partial arpeggio, and that is giving us our initial motif. Motif being the smallest version of a musical idea, the seed, the essence in which everything else comes from, or at least I think that's our motif. Now, the guitar is doing some palm muting. The way that the guitar works, if we bring a picture of a guitar over here. Let's grab this one. There is a technique that is palm muting. As you can see over here, the guitar works fairly straightforward. You have the neck with the fretboard, which you're usually most people will have the left hand there where you press down on the strings to determine which note is being played, and then the right hand is going to be on this area over here, the pickups or sound hole or whatever it is, where you're going to be strumming or picking or plucking the strings. Now, when it comes to electric guitars, it's very common for people to use guitar picks instead, because it's metal strings, and it's a lot better to hit them with this than with your bare hand, because it hurts less, and it also gives you other types of precision. So the way palm muting works is that you take the hand that you're picking with while holding the guitar picks. You take the squishy bit over here of your palm and you press it against this part over here of the strings, right where they end in the lower bridge where the string ends, just enough so that it partially mutes the string, giving you that very, very nice crunchy sound that we are getting from this. Let's see where this goes. Fading in the synth a little bit more. Oh, we didn't have a bass at the start. It was just the guitar's resonance. It was just the guitar resonance. Now we brought in. Okay, so we are continuing the arpeggios, and we are doing a little bit of what is called octave displacement. Octave displacement, as the name suggests, is when you displace which octave something happens in. An octave is the same note repeated up or down throughout the range of the instrument. So the way octave displacement works, let's take, for example, C major, C, D, E, F, G, A, B. Let me go ahead and paste that a couple of times, and the way that octave displacement works is that we're going to have some sort of phrase. Let's say we have C to D to E to G. If we then do octave displacement, that means we are going to play those tones, just not exactly where we played them last time, not on the same octave. We're going to displace which octave, because each octave over here is C to C. That is one octave. So in this case, we are playing in this octave over here. So if we then take this phrase and I say, okay, But what if instead of playing it that way, I go C up here, down to D down here, up to E over here, and then down to G over here? We would be playing C to D to E to G. But instead of sounding like this, we would be sounding, which is very different. We displaced which octave this happened in, and as a result, we are changing this. Right now, it's happening at a simpler rate. We're just displacing the first note of the phrase so that it extends the whole thing. So yeah, we're doing that. Let's see where it goes. Ooh, nice. And we get a second line over here, giving us a little bit of harmonization. So harmonization, it's been a bit since we explained this one. Harmonization is counterpoint parallel motion in thirds or sixths. So let me break this down. Counterpoint being the study, the art of melodies. How they are, how they develop, how they interact with one another, usually in the context of having two or more melodies playing at the same time. You can measure counterpoint in many ways, one of which is motion. One of the types of motion being parallel motion. Parallel motion means that you have multiple melodies doing the same thing at the same time, the same shape, from a different starting point or from a separate interval. Intervals are the distance between notes. So there's many ways of counting intervals. The simplest and the easiest one is you take a scale. Let's take C major again, for example. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, which is going to be the white keys in the keyboard starting and ending on C. So we have C, we're going to pick our first or root note. We're going to pick C because we're in C major, might as well, which is going to be our root note, and then from there you can count up or down. So C, up a second D, up a third E, up a fourth F, up a fifth G, up a sixth A, up a seventh B, up an octave C. We go from root to octave, right? And then from that we can also count down. C, down a second B, down a third A, down a fourth G, down a fifth F, down a sixth E, down a seventh D, down an octave C. So parallel in thirds or sixth, which in the case of C would mean that if the first note of the melody starts on C, the second one, the other melody would need to start on E or A, no matter the octave, in order to achieve this. So if we have this melody over here, that would mean we would have parallel thirds, up a third on E, down a third on A, up a sixth on A, or down a sixth on E. So if you ask me which one should I use, up to you. Up to you, whichever one you think sounds best for that specific moment. I personally love down a sixth on E. I love this sound, but sometimes you just need to use this. So yeah, this is one of the tricky parts. And on top of doing harmonization, we are doing an incomplete harmonization. We are only doing accentuation for the harmonization. So accentuation, we're doing an accented harmonization, basically. Accentuation is when you accentuate specific points in the rhythm to bring attention to that point. So we are doing basically an accentuated harmonization on this one, where we are having the lower melody giving us a bunch of notes over here. Let's say that we have this, and then we are using the higher melody only going on certain notes to bring attention to those. So instead of just going, for example, let's say I have this, right? So instead of doing the harmonization for the whole thing, I'm just gonna do something like that, right? Like I'm accentuating the higher points of this melody so that we can focus on that bit, right? Let's see where this goes. Nice. Change of chords, and we lower things. So we now take the shape of the melody that we got up from that, and we bring in a new melody from this. Drums continuing a little bit toned down. We take out the electric guitar. We keep the drums. We are keeping the bass. Let's see where this goes. Nice. So developing the motif into this one. Oh! New melody over. So we now bring the chorus, the big climactic melody that we've been building up towards. This is really good. This is really good. We use over here a little bit of rhythmic displacement. We did use it earlier as well. We used some rhythmic displacement. Rhythmic displacement, as the name suggests, is when you displace something in the rhythm. So you're either pushing something down so that it sounds later, rushing something up so that it sounds earlier, or you're using silence or some sort of interruption to achieve either of the two. In this case, we're kind of using it as a way of starting the new section altogether, because silence can be the loudest thing you can put in your music. This is really good. Let me hear a bit more. Guitar now playing block chords. Guitar just playing the full chords. Nice. Version of the melody. Incredible. So this version is combining elements from both versions that we heard. Now that I realize it's using elements of both. It has a little bit of arpeggiation here and there, and it is also using elements from the other melody that's just elongating some of the notes, right? Elongation, another way that you can develop material in which you do a longer version of something you've done before. In this case, we're doing a combination of elongation with legato. Legato is when you hold down a note. That's it. You just hold down the note. To its completion. So far, we were just playing the notes a little bit shorter, so... And when we do the elongation, we're playing that a little bit slower, right? And if we then switch it to legato, that means we're just going to play the note as much as possible. We're going to let it ring as much as possible. So we do a combination of that along with some arpeggiation, and we get this as a result. This is really good. Nice. And back we go to the original. So form-wise, we have now gone to what is called section A. Form being the structure of your music, right? Because in instrumental music, we don't really have the luxury of having like a verse or a chorus, so instead we use sections. So we had the first one at the start, which is section A, then we moved on to section B over here, now we go back to section A prime. This little apostrophe over here, that means prime, which means it is a variation. So we are either doing this slightly different, or we are playing it in a different order, because section A was basically three main parts. We had the quick introduction, then we had what we're hearing over here, we had the harmonized version, and then we had a little bit of a change, like the transitionary section from it. So it was basically 4 parts, now that I think about it, right? In this case, we are starting from the second part of the original A, but it's still the same material that we were using before. So it's just a way of being able to bring material back without having to just go through the whole thing each time. It's just a useful way of reorganizing the sections. Let me hear a bit more. Oh, straight into the harmonization. Straight into the accent and harmonization. Nice. And straight to the transitionary material. So we are basically doing a shortened version of section A, but it is section A nonetheless. Because when it comes to music, going back to your original material very often is a good idea. So we're using that, and I keep trying to think of a segue, but I just can't for the love of me. Like, we've been doing so many of these segues that I just don't know anymore, dude. So, yeah, I'm just gonna shout out the Patreon. Patreon.com/JamesRBasterd. If you want to support this channel more than you already are, consider joining the Patreon today. Even if you're not pledging any funds, do join the free tier at least, because this is where the non-gaming LFAs are going. What are those? Anime, film, TV, label music, the kind of stuff that we usually don't do on the main channel on YouTube. Why? What we do on YouTube is inherently fair use. That does not stop bad actors such as record labels, film studios, individual independent rats, scammers out there from abusing the copyright system on YouTube. So, in order to just not deal with that, we're putting them here exclusively on Patreon, free for everyone to watch with paid members, citizen tier and above, getting early access to the content. Yeah, I gave up. Like, dude, I spent like 5 minutes trying to come up with a segue, and I just could not. Like, sometimes I just fail like that, okay? Like, sometimes it just happens. So, there you go. So, if you want to support this channel more than you already are, consider joining the Patreon today. Consider becoming a paid member today. You will get access to the exclusive content either way. Patreon.com/JamesRBasterd. Thank you to those who are already members, especially those who are paid members, particularly Real Nemesis, French Guy, and Amaya. Your support means the world to me. For everybody else, become a member today. Consider becoming a paid member today. Patreon.com/JamesRBasterd. Linked in the description down below. Patreon.com/JamesRBasterd. Become a member today. So yeah, let's pan over to Don Quixote's live reaction. Let's see her judgment. Yep, there you go. She's got whipped cream now. So yep, you could say that this one was a bit deadpan, so to speak. So we're having the transitionary material again. Let's see where this goes. This is an elongated version of the thing. 1 in 16 chance, yes. Rhythmic displacement. Guitar melody with a little bit of the accented harmonization there at the very end. We have now moved on to the next section. We are now doing a rondo. Rondo is a type of form which means to go around, which basically means we're gonna do A, then something else, then back to A or some variation of A, and then to something other than what we've done before. Rondos are the best way to introduce new material. Because that way, one, you can elongate your music, you can extend and inflate the amount of time your music takes, and you get to re-explore the material however much you want, and you get to introduce new material, best of both worlds kind of thing, right? Let's see where it goes. Nice. That little harmonization. And now we switch over from the just harmonization at the end to now the start of this doing a doubling. We have the synth doubling the guitar. Doubling in music is when you have more than one instrument doing the same thing at the same time. And I would say no, me not being able to come up with a plug, like a segue for the Patreon, it has to be lower than 1/16 chance. If anybody wants to do the math, ever since we started shouting out the Patreon on how long, like how many we have that have failed, that would be fun. That would be fun. If anyone wants to do, if anybody is unemployed enough to want to do that math, go ahead. Anyway, let's continue. Let's see what we do. Oh, it's a doubling. It's not harmonization. It's doubling. It's just a doubling. So it's an accentuated doubling at the start. It wasn't harmonization. It's just because it was so high up. I mixed it up with what was happening in the back. But yeah, it's just an accentuated doubling. It's pretty good. Variation from the original A, now we're in A, double prime. Because we had this at the beginning. But now we're having these moments of accents. There you go. Oh, so good. This is so good. We're having the accents now from the drums and guitar at the end over there, at the end of each phrase, and oh my god, this is insane. Nice. And off the ramp we go. Off the ramp being a colloquial term that I use, right? Colloquial, by that I mean that there is no official academic definition for this, or at least I'm using this. I'm choosing not to use it for the sake of simplicity. And off the ramp is what I like to call any type of transition that makes your listener feel suspended, up in the air at the mercy of inertia, waiting to see where you land. Kind of like going off a ramp. How do you do this? Remove the drums, maybe the bass as well, as we did over here with just the bass synth. Let's see where it goes. So good. Bringing it up an octave, okay? Drum fill. Section A. This is still part of Section A. Oh, so good. Wait, no. Section B, I think. Yes, Section B. Section B. B prime, because now we're going up. Section B. Yep. It took me a moment. Yep, Section B. Nice. The background. Guitar taking over to the melody. Accentuated doubling. Oh, it's so good, dude. There's another synth high up that was just holding a chord there. And now the synth with the doubling. Nice, developing the melody. Oh, it's so good. All right, we're gonna go back to A for the outro. Nope, still B. Oh, with the guitar there with like a talk box, I think? No, it's a wah pedal. And we end it with a half cadence. So yeah, we use section B prime as our outro, and then we end it with a half cadence. And yeah, no, it wasn't a talk box, it was a wah pedal. So for those of you who haven't seen a wah pedal, it's this kind of pedal because guitarists are already using their hands, we instead use pedals because you can use your feet instead for like effects and whatnot. And the wah pedal is this kind of thing over here that basically has two positions. Like once the wah pedal is turned on, I have this one actually, you have two positions. You have down and then up. Down position means that you're filtering out some of the sound, makes the guitar sounds ooh. You put up once you put the pedal in the up position, you have ah. And then all in between, you get that expressiveness from that. So yeah, wasn't that section C? It might have been actually. Shit, you're right. Yep, section C prime. A quick section C prime. Yep, now that I think about it, yep. Like somewhat like the vibe was very similar among them. So yeah, no, you're right. You're completely right. Section C. So yeah, we do a bit of a section C. So we break the pattern a little bit. We do a section B plus C for the because this is section B plus C. Like they're not two sections. They were basically two parts of the same section, and we use those together as the outro. And yeah, we then do a half cadence. When you're making music, you're doing one of two things. You're building tension or you're resolving that tension. That point in between, we call the cadence with its resolution. The half cadence is when you build up that tension and you intentionally do not resolve it in the section that you're in. As you heard in the guitar ended up ending without resolving the note, without finishing the phrase. And with that, there you have it, Chasing the Dragon by Get Six from the Electronic Super Joy 2 soundtrack. That was really good, dude. Again, this is what I love about doing this. You never know when we're gonna get absolute bangers. There you go. Once again, everybody, this has been a Basterd's LFA, a layman-friendly analysis. I'm a professionally trained musician, a composer, and my objective here has been to explain things in a way so that you don't have to be one to understand what's happened here, musically. So, if you're watching this on the YouTube video archive thing, thank you for watching. Make sure you're following the channel, subscribe to the channel, whatever you need to use. Like the video, share the comment, turn on notifications, become a member. Once again, everybody, don't forget to join the Discord server. That's where everything gets announced first, whether it's the streams going live, the videos going up the channels, updates, projects, giveaways, everything gets announced there first. We have the community there, we hang out, we chat, we steal memes from other people's servers, claim them as our own, where I host the Vintage Story. Community server, that kind of stuff. Also share these videos with everybody that you know. Use the hype function on YouTube. We have a group on the Discord, coordinates for that, so linked in the description. Help the channel grow. Members get early access to the content and schedule the videos for a week on Saturdays. And if you're a paid member on YouTube, regardless of your tier, you get access to the videos when I schedule them, at least for the LFAs. So become a member today. If you want to listen to this without me interrupting every 3.5 seconds, I'll be linking in the description down below. If you want to request a song and you're not on the live stream, check the pinned comment on this video. It has the instructions on what to do. If you want to catch the streams when they happen live, we aim from Monday through Friday. We stream live on Twitch, YouTube, and Kick so that you can tune in from whichever platform you prefer. We have the full up-to-date streaming schedule showing in your local time zone in both Discord and Twitch, both linked in the description. So, if you live in Pozo Perdido, Lost Well, and you're like, yeah, but whatever time it is in Hungary? I don't live there. Do not worry. Just go to Discord or Twitch, both linked in the description. And it's gonna share the streaming schedule up to date in your local time zone, accounting for daylight savings if necessary. And subscribe to the gaming channel. Follow the gaming channel because, of course, I have a gaming channel. I'm on YouTube. What else could I possibly have? Games are Basterd. It's wrap up the gaming after show recordings when they happen. We play games on the later part of the stream, and then the VODs for every game we play live eventually end up over here. So subscribe to the channel, linked in the description, or search on YouTube, same as with James R. Basterd. Swap the J for a G, and you got it. And subscribe to the Reacts channel. The LFAs are React format. This is where we are putting the reacts for everything else. James Reacts Basterd. Subscribe to the channel, linked in the description, or search on YouTube, same username as James R. Basterd. Extend the R to Reacts, and you got it. And yeah, there you have it. Chasing the Dragon Electronic Super Joy 2. That was a lot of fun. That was really good. So I'm impressed, dude. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. But yeah, let's move on.